Jordan open.
I got 2 twin Glocks strapped to my hip. One for the ops, one for the dip. Got the drip on me, and she take a sip. Doing shit you never see, like a junior crib. Got a shorty in the club, going dumb. Pour another drink from the night till the wine. Party all night, getting lit to the sun. Doing shit for fun, throw another one. Hey, I got 2 twin Glocks.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is the Dreams Not Fame podcast. I know we're running a little bit behind, but it's straight, though. I'm your host, The Hype. I'm with my boy, Tobes from Thriftlordes. This is part 2, man. How you doing, dog?
What's up, man? You know, things is good. Just trying to just take shit just like
hey, man. I'm
day
glad,
by day.
Day by day, night by night. Hey, man, I'm glad you be back on the show. It is crazy time for you at the shop, man. We've done a lot of things. We say a lot of updates we need to bring up about the shop and everything. But first things first, how's your mental health?
Well, it's good, man. It's good, you know. So
it's a long. We're gonna get into that. I know. The reason why my man's not really shy about you had an incident happen at the shop, man. We gotta dive into that a little bit because you're big on a lot of political stuff, a lot of justice stuff. And so happens since you've been so big on your justice stuff, you had an incident at your shop. Can you go over that a little bit?
Yeah, man. So about 3 weeks ago, I changed the carpet in the shop. So then me and my homeboy Vibe, we got the carpet. He like helped me put it down, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So then when you put a carpet down in the shop or in your house, you take
everything out.
Yeah. So then we was done with that, and it was around I'll say around like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, bet. Let me start to take all of the clothes back in the shop. So then I'm doing that, and I walk outside, and keep in mind, you've been to the shop. It's like in the back, so
it's in the cut. Yeah. You can't go there. Well, if it's actually in there, something
So,
you have to the area, or you see something. It's in the cut. Let me just say that it's in the cut, and it's not easy to trace. Let's just say that.
So then, you know, all of like the lights is out, no one's in the parking lot, and I walk outside to pick up some shoes that I had outside, and all I hear is freeze, don't move, we will shoot, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, my nigga? And so then like, you know, I look up, and I'm like, yo, I'm being robbed. Like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. And, so then long story short, I guess the fire marshal, which does his checks to see if shit is going on in, like, the lot.
At 2 in the morning?
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah, so then he sees me, and then I guess he calls the cops. But then the cops come it was 5 cops come with the guns drawn, like, yo,
sure.
And then and then after that they're like, yo, don't move, what's in your hand, get in the ground, And I'm not trying to over exaggerate, but I'm like, hey, yo, bro, these niggas about to kill me right now. What the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? But so then I guess I'm kind of lucky in a weird way because I didn't have my cell phone on me, and so I had nothing in my hand, nothing in my shorts. That
nothing bulging, nothing, all that stuff.
Yeah. So then you know what I'm saying? It was like, freeze. What do you have in your hand? What's in your pocket? I'm like, yo, this is my store. So I put my hands up, and then 3 of them just come, and I'm not sure how it's supposed to be, but I'm like, yo, when did Prince William County cops start to have scope guns, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they came out with whole squads.
Yeah, so then fucking now, I mean, it's not funny, but I think back on it now, and I'm like, yo, this is some shit off Training Day or every cop movie you would see when they just pull up to the scenes and they get behind their door and they're like, yo, if you move, nigga, we're about to blast you. And I'm like, yo, bro, shit. But so then 3 of them come up on me, and then they got the guns one just had to my back. I'm laying flat there, and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, yo, this is my shop. Boom, boom. And I think it's one thing really helped was my just mentality of just how I move is I'm like pretty calm, and I try to think while shit is going on. So, like, you know, my first thought is like, yo, I want to react, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody's here. That gives them every reason to just take this shit to the next level. You know what I mean? So I was like, look, sir, this is my shop. I have proof, blah, boom, boom, boom. So then after that, they put me in the cuffs. They throw me in the back of the car. They're like, so why are you here at this time? I'm like, yo, do you see the carpet? Half of it is still on top of the car. This and that, boom, boom, boom. And then they call some people. Then who's the landlord? I'm like, yo, well, the landlord is David. I'm not sure if he's gonna pick up. It's 2 o'clock in fucking morning, and you have me here saying I need to find proof. I'm like, I can't find proof if you got me sitting in like the back of the car. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But so then, you know, after that, the fire marshal dude was like, hey man, you know, it's a simple mistake, and
nothing's so simple when someone like, playing with someone's life.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, I'm still keeping in mind, I'm like, yo, if I knew there was some cameras out or like a couple more people around, I had some shit to tell you. But I'm like, look, I know y'all can still find a reason to fuck with me. So I'm like, all right, bye. Like, am I free to go?
You gonna move around? Yeah.
So then, boom. So then after that, it's like, well, can we have proof? I mean, can we check like the store for proof and this and that? And one, like I know my rights. Like I'm not saying I know like the ins and outs, but I know like enough of shit. And I'm like, this is private property, and am I under arrest? And if I'm not under arrest, you have no justified reason to go into my shop. I'm private property, so no. And then he's like, all right, sir, well, have a good night, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. But yeah, so, you know.
That's a very intriguing story, especially in times of Manassas, man.
Yeah, so, you know, just dealing like with that, and it really calmed me off because, you know what I mean, out of, like, I'm not going to say, I'm like, I've been this perfect person. Like, you know, I like, you know, like I've done some shit like I probably should have been like involved in this and that. But it's like, I'm like, okay, during those times and certain things went down, I'm like, it's not like, oh, I'm signing up for it. But I'm like, okay, if I do this, there's a possibility of this.
Yes.
So then I was just more hurt from like the stance of like, yo, like, this is what they tell us folks, like, you know, black people to do, like, you know, owning business, getting your shit, do the taxes right, this and that,
Make a life.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, so out of all the times of how I could have gone out, I'm going to go out because I'm actually improving my place of business, you know what I mean? So then, you know, from that stance, that shit really kind of hurt because I'm like, damn, like, from all this shit that I did back in the day, and ain't none of it.
No, you didn't get caught up. You didn't get caught up.
And this is the reason why, like, you know,
and you lost a cactus in the process.
Yeah, I lost my fucking cactus. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is.
Man, when I first saw that, I ain't gonna lie. Like, so I was scrolling on my Instagram page. I remember I was like, no, you write long posts from time to time. And I know that. I was like, sometimes I read, sometimes when I have time, sometimes like I catch it later on in the day, you know? But then I read it, 'cause I was like, I had some time, had my coffee. And I was like, yo, something happened at the shop. Dang, like, and you were showing the ins and outs and everything online. I'm like, ain't no way you can tell from the carpet. Like, you were just moving carpet. You can tell there's a new carpet coming in. Yeah. You can tell all that shit. So it's like, it's one thing that just, hey, pull up with two. I've been in some situations when cops pull up on you, and you're in a certain situation where you might need some assistance or it might look a little bit funky. Yeah. And there's something I've had a nice car. I think when my car battery died on Wellington Road. Okay. I remember this fully because I had some things in the car that shouldn't have been in the car. And I remember the cop asked me, he was like, y'all need help? I'm like, no, sir, we're good. We're completely fine here because there's going to be other shit. But it's the thing about asking and then immediately drawing weapons and thinking the store is robbed when... It's really, I understand it kind of from the viewpoint of this shop, there's stuff outside.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning.
The 1 o'clock in the morning, the parking lot, it's really not well lit.
Yeah.
If there is anything, I don't recall if there's
just like one corner light.
Yeah, one corner light, and I mean honestly, at the end of the day, I would say invest in security cameras.
Yes, yeah. So I actually got some before that, but it was just for the inside. But I didn't have any for outside.
From the doors.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like you know what I mean. It was just like I like get it to a certain degree, but then I'm like, yo, like. Literally, like, if I'm not trying to over exaggerate. I'm like, yo, if I reacted how I know 90% of people would react, like one of my homeboys was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, like, they probably would have like shot me because I
would have turned up too because it was my shop.
Because it was like, you know, I had the conscious thought. I was literally like, yo, if I react a certain way, there's a good chance I'm gonna fucking get shot right now. You know what I mean? And yeah, and it was like, just to think back, I'm like, yo, so what if I just had I was just a little bit more pissed off that day because of some shit that was just going on in life, and then the cop shit happened, and I just flipped like, yo, like fuck you, da da da, and then one thing leads to another, and then who knows? But yeah, so it was a crazy situation, but it's kind of, you know, how can I explain this? I like there's no perfect way to deal with like certain situations like that, but I just always have a thought process if it's that or just shit that I've dealt with in the past. I'm like, yo, unless I'm dead or in jail, like no one situation is gonna really
put you
really break me. You know what I mean? So like, of course, I had to what's the word? Internalize it, you know what I'm saying, and feel what I felt. But you know, I was just like, yo, like sucks, but then it's like, yo, like I'm just gonna keep on going harder, you know what I mean? Keep on doing just what I need to do, and you know what I'm saying, when their time comes to do what I need to do on the legal end, you know, things is gonna pop.
I get it, and it's kind of amazing that you had that situation happen. And I think like 3 or 4 days later, you made that announcement about doing that little thing at the shop. Not even a little thing. You had a cookout with your mom's jollof rice. You had
block party joint.
Block party joint. So talk about that experience real quick. I stopped by a little bit, had some of the rice. Amazing rice. Mom, shout out to you. That was amazing jollof rice. Definitely. Unfortunately, my wife's Cameroonian, so I can't say that's number one, but it is what it is. But tell us about that experience, because it really was a flip in your attitude. Now, I really do think that should be spotlighted about how you had that situation, and then like 4 days later, you're like, I'm doing a block party because fuck it, I'm not letting this shit put me down, kind of thing.
Yeah, man, it's like I personally don't think it's done me more bad than good, but I'm not sure. Maybe shit when I was a kid, or just how I grew up in my teens or early 20s, et cetera, but. It's like I just know how much my own mom has gone through just in her personal life. You know what I'm saying? Or just, you know, certain like people, certain families and situations. So then with me, it's kind of like, you know, as I was saying, it's kind of like, it's hard for me to like mentally break, you know what I mean? So it sucked, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but then I'm like, I'm still here, and I'm still gonna do what I need to do. Like, I'm not gonna let, you know, some cops be like, shit, now life sucks or this and that. And it's funny because even before this, you've seen my posts and shit like that. One of the few people that I really, I guess, get, you know, inspiration from or look up to, one is Nipsey, and then the other is Malcolm X. And this was way before any of this. Like, I've been on.
We talked about Malcolm X on the last one about the biography.
Yeah. So then it's and it's like I forgot he said it in some interview. I forgot the exact words, but he said something along the lines of, no one man will put fear into me just because I know they have a price on my head. Like, I mean, those weren't at his like exact words, but that's basically what he was saying. And you know, that's exactly how I felt in a weird way. It's not like, oh, I'm more courageous, but it was just more of like,
all right, I see how I reacted, and I don't feel more scared. I actually feel less. I actually feel less fear. You know what I mean? Of yo, like, it is what it is. It sucks. It's life. You know what I'm saying? America, racism, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I would personally, if I have control over it, I will not let no one person or system put fear in me on because people's like, man, now like you should leave at 7 and this, and I do understand, but I'm like, yo, B, I pay taxes like the white dude next door, like the Hispanic people next door, like the fucking this and that. I'm like, nah, like I pay taxes, so like why do I have to live in fear of like I gotta leave at 9 o'clock because I'm black? It's like, nah, bro, like I'm not doing shit that I'm not supposed to do. I mean, like I'm not here doing shit that I'm not supposed to do. Yeah. I know the laws. Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? Like it's not one of those if my time comes. Like it's nothing like that, but it's when it's like, yo, like I'm not gonna live in fear. Like I don't care what people think I should do, but like that's just not in me. You know what I mean? So
no, I mean I definitely get that. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna drop it at this. I want to talk about the block party. It's kind of weird that you had cops show up there because your place is legit in a back cut between 2 other buildings in the front. It's not hard. It's not easy. My fault. It's not easy to see your stuff through that cut. It's not. So they had to be either in that lot, which I do not see a lot of cops in that lot, or they got a nice clear view at 1 o'clock in the morning of your place. So it don't make no sense. But you had very interesting couple acts at the block party. You had this panel. I didn't really understand. I not understand the panel, but I didn't know who was at the panel. And you had a couple artists perform. Can you dive into that a little bit? Like how'd you make your block party the way your block party would be?
Yeah. So then with my whole so I guess I got to backtrack a little bit with my whole smoking shop situation that I've done. My homeboy that's a DJ.
Yep. I've seen him a couple times.
So then, you know what I'm saying? He like did the first joint, like I think the first week of June. And with me, I'm a pretty, I'm pretty eclectic in just like my like taste of shit. So, but I've really never listened to like house music, like techno shit. Cause with me, when I think of like techno, I just think it's like raves and boom. You know what I mean? So then he started playing some shit at the smoking shop. I'm like, yo, this shit kind of hard. It's techno, but it got some crazy 90s hip hop beat like bump to it, da-da-da. So then he played another one. Then after that, he's like, yo, I'm going out to New York. She go with me, and then that's when I went out to New York, da-da-da-da.
And you guys are amazing in New York. We gonna get to New York, but that was a good trip. But continue.
So then after that, he's like, yo, bro, like we need to actually do something your spot, da-da-da, because when we went out to New York, I connected with him, and then a couple
move your bottle out the way, because it's actually blocking your own live feed, my dude.
Yo, y'all, man.
I just checked and peeked. It was blocking the whole view. My bad.
That's straight. But, so then, I actually connected with a lot of the people that performed and talked when I was out in New York. But then to bring it back to that, we was gonna go through with the whole Crystal City shop, certain things that happened, et cetera, et cetera. So then, ironically, because I was just looking back on the gram, I'm like, yo, it's crazy. We opened the shop July 17th. July 30th of 2017. So I was like, yo, it just makes sense. We ain't doing Crystal City shit. Let's do the block party July 30th, 2022. So 5 year.
Make the 5 year anniversary.
So then,
which makes you need to put some noise in that. That's 5 years. That's 5 years in the business. You gotta get that,
So then, you know what I'm saying? So then, like shit just really just came together in its own type of vibe, and I feel like I really don't know how to explain how it came together, but I was thinking this the other day, and I was like, yo, I've kind of found a lane of putting shit together that doesn't make sense, that should come together, but making it look like, yo, this shit makes perfect sense.
Makes it work,
Yeah, so then, so the performances, the DJs, and then the panel, they was talking about what,
And who was at the panel? Who performed, by the way? Just so they can get the little shine, too.
So then the people that performed, there was a lot of people that performed, because I had DJs perform, and then I had artists perform. I don't know everybody off the top of my head, so don't be mad at me. But the main people that helped me put it together was my homeboy,
Muda, which is the DJ.
Yeah.
My homeboy, my homeboy Jaden. He was one of the performers. Sketch performed. Scholar performed. Then a lot of people that I didn't necessarily know personally, but
they
Muda,
just
like put it all like together. But yeah, so it was a vibe, and then you know what I mean. It just kind of flowed from just like a cookout type vibes, we hanging, and then in like the panel talk, which was kind of really about independent artists in all like manners. If you sing, rap, digital art, paint, whatever, but how to really leverage technology in your favor, or put this out as a NFT for that, so you can get paid this way, and that's basically what it was talking about. And then after that, we was just there till like 1 o'clock.
Back to the one.
Yeah, man.
Back to the one.
As I said, like, you know, there's no fear. So it's like, yo, I'm back, nigga. Like, we turning out. Like, what's good with you? You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Nah, man, I get it. I think that whole situation, not even the situation, the whole block party was a vibe.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think I was there to just about the interview for the questionnaire that y'all had, and then I saw everything else on the YouTube. Not YouTube, on the live channel. Yeah. So I think you guys had great emphasis on that, and I think on the block party itself. Plus, it was a good day to do it. Yeah. It wasn't as hot like it was today. But definitely a good thing for that. But since in the caveat I have of that, we're going to switch over to the New York trip, because I think before you remember, I remember you talking to me about New York and the New York New Jersey link, and you actually did the New York New Jersey link. It looked like y'all did pretty well. Linked up with other thrift shops over that way. Seemed like it was a big vibe. So tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. Man, so that was actually my first time going to.
You never been to New York?
No, never. Maybe when I first came into the States, when I was like 10, you know what I mean? Like,
but not New York as a dog. I get you. Yeah.
But so then it was like, I'm like, yo, now I see why they say this is the city that never sleeps, or just like that whole hustle mentality, one thing leading to another, because we was only supposed to be there for Monday and come back Tuesday afternoon or so, right?
Yeah.
So we went there. So we got there Monday morning to where was that? We was out in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So then Brooklyn, we set our stand up, whatever, selling clothes. People was vibing, boom, 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 and then some people that came to like our like booth and was like, yo, like I like y'all vibes, the type of clothes that y'all had, I would like y'all to vend y'all like stuff out in fucking where is it? The next day it was out in what's that joint called?
Harlem?
Yeah. So then Tuesday we went out to Harlem and we did our thing there. Then from Tuesday someone was like, hey yo, they're doing this big NFT whatever event in Manhattan. Do y'all want to go out there too? And we was like, shit, I bet. So like literally like
you explored the islands a little bit.
Yeah, like it was just one move just straight to another. Like, you know, I like came there with like just one fit, but then I was like, yo, I just got to take some of the shit off the racks and then start to make fits for myself for like the next couple of days. So yeah, I was totally just prepared to stay there like one day. Then we ended up staying there 4 days. But
nice. You make a good come up and you get some good connections.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all ever? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking behind me. Oh dang, there's people behind me now. Did y'all ever? Actually, since y'all have been in New York for 4 days, I gotta ask you this question about the cuisine. What was the best pizza shop y'all went to? Y'all had to hit a pizza shop or a sub shop.
Man, I feel, damn, did I hit it? What the fuck was I in? What? Nah, okay.
Off topic, but yeah.
I was at Bodegas just getting, I got like some like melt, like Philly cheese melt or some shit like that.
The bodegas be hitting though.
Yeah,
the bodegas be hitting. Yeah, I ain't gonna front.
Wings and food, like wings and like Subways. I mean, and like subs and shit. That was really it. Like honestly, but like I really didn't go to no food spots. Yeah, but
no, of course, because but so are you planning to do New York again, like next summer? Because it seemed like New York is a summer move for fashion.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to. It's just handling situations with what I thought was going to happen with the Crystal City shop, and then just a lot of shit.
Yeah, I saw the development of the Crystal City shop. I know that was one of the big things you want. You want to get the second store cemented up here. Yeah. And since that didn't fall out, are you still looking for that second location or a second partner to help you out with that?
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's like I feel like I've figured out an even better situation, and it's like it's hard. It's one of those is like it's hard to explain if you don't see the vision. Kind of like how I'm like moving now, like you know what I'm saying, with all the different things that we got going on at the shop. If I just tell people, yo, we're gonna do concerts at the shop, we're gonna host smoke events, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's like it sounds like a bunch of random shit. Like, are you sure that makes sense? But like when people see how it flows, like, yo, this shit makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? It's kind of I do have a spot in mind that it's not gonna be exactly just like a plain second shop. But how can I explain? It's kind of like I kind of got inspired a little bit from when I went out to New York. So it's like weed bodega, but an actual bodega, but with a little bit of clothes. It's but it's a coffee type shop, you know what I mean? But then that's going to be very close to the shop we have now. So then it's kind of just really, I'm kind of thinking this move from more of a, what's the word? Real estate perspective. Like, okay, I got this like that. I can get this. This is a bigger space, but I can do this like that. Kind of have a plan of how I see things like playing out, but it still connects to the actual first shop. So I got some plans.
No,
on my sleeve.
I get it. You want to give out all your cards. I get it. I definitely get it. I'm just trying to think of things off of it because you got the Crystal thing that fell through. You got the other joint that come out. Do you believe that y'all gonna be doing another block party shortly? Because I think that y'all probably might be wrapping one up before the end of the summer kind of thing.
So then I'm not sure about block party, but I'm not sure if you saw it. I think this was in June when I did like the concert show thing. Yeah. So I'm looking at it. So I know I'm doing at least one more. Yeah. But I might do two more with two different folks.
Gotcha.
So just really trying to maximize what we can do with that space. You know what I mean? So.
And it's a nice little spot. I definitely get that. I see the vibe that y'all doing. You about to start doing winter wear. Yeah. What's your ideal? And since we're getting to the apparel now, the apparel changed from from summer really to fall winter. What are you really looking for in your thrift store to add to that collection a little bit?
So I mean, one if it's from clothing merch side, I'm still waiting for my guy Kerry to come back from Cambodia. Please, Kerry, like I need you back. You know what I mean? So then he's the guy that makes a lot of my clothing merch. But then from like thrift finds, I don't really like go out looking for specific things. It's just more of like, I just kind of have the mindset of like, yo, if this shit is fly, I'm gonna pick it up. And then when the season comes to sell it, I'm going to just take it out and sell it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not like I'm, like, specifically looking for this and that. Because today, I actually found this, what brand was it? Members Only coat, but, like, a little, like, puff joint.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, when like, shit drops below, like, 50 degrees, people's going to hop on it. But I know now, like, it's 95 degrees outside, so I know, like, I'm going to buy it. But, I'm like, yo, let me just buy it to just just put in the bag and et cetera.
Nah, man, I get it. You gotta prepare. I think in the business mindset, you have to prepare for everything. You got, even when the opportunity is not to buy stuff right now, in the down the road that you guys gonna need it or eventually you want to sell it down the line. I definitely understand that. But in terms of the shop now, since you've been doing all this stuff in the progress, and we said you're expanding the shop to the second shop, and doing the smoking process of that, I'm trying to be very light on that subject. What am I trying to say here? you said you might do another experience too. Dang, you running through my questions already. We had the same issue last time I running through my questions. Blah, 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 blah. So for your shop, in terms of expansion, you expanded your shop, and you already said you got the new cover down and everything like that. You already said that you add in the atmosphere of the music and everything. Yeah. When will you get your Thriftlorde t-shirts back? Because my wife been asking, bro.
I know. Carrie, I need you back in the country. Carrie, I need you.
Yo, Carrie, you costing this man money. You costing this man money.
So, yeah, man, it's like, it's crazy because I personally know I do need to drop more merch because when I do drop merch, like a lot of it actually sells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really sit.
I've never seen someone, every time I'm at your store, there's something different on the shelf. And I can appreciate that as a consumer because I know if you're selling me a shirt and I know for a fact that shirt is probably not going to be there by the end of the week.
And that's because what I want people to feel. It was like, hey, yo, be responsible with your money, but you know what I mean? If you wait a couple of days, it might not be there.
It ain't going to be there. So I definitely understand the vibe of the shop. The vibe of the shop is great and everything about it I definitely love. I'm trying to wrap around my head because your expansion thing is really interesting to me. Do you feel like you're gonna be doing more of these travel shows that you're talking about? You did New York, you did Jersey. Is there anybody where you want to go in terms of traveling in your store and doing different things and different pop-ups?
Yeah, like a lot of people's like, yo, you go crazy if you ever went out to Cali and LA with the scene out there, and then I guess they got a scene out in what's it called?
That's hard for shipping though. What? You gotta think about that. You gotta pack like maybe 4 suitcases to bring 3 of your stuff with you.
That's true, yeah. So like I haven't even thought of
but I get it.
But I don't know. It's kind of things is it's I have a weird way of having everything planned out, but just knowing the next 2 steps. But like there is a plan. It's just like
it's not developed fully yet. I understand exactly what you're talking about. I have normally like a 5-step plan, but I only know I gotta get the first 2 done.
Yeah.
Before the 3rd, 4th, and 5th step can be visible to me. So it's like for me, it's always been like, all right, let me get my first 2 done. Let me get my feet in the situation first. And be comfortable in that situation. That kid in the background killing me right now. He's on high pitch alert, man. I swear to God. I love children, but sometimes I just want to slap them. But nah, it's just like you have those first things in the ground, and that's exactly how I built this to this point right here. Yeah. You get your first 2 down, and then you figure out what the other steps are, and you learn as the process goes. I think as a business person in general, you're going to deal with that regardless. You're not ever going to have 100% of the thing right then and there. Right. Most of your plans are going to be 90%. So, and as a businessman to businessman, how do you deal with not having that other 10% when you try and go with your plans?
What, like when shit like goes left?
Yeah, when shit goes left.
It's funny. Like I randomly made a tweet about this shit today, and then I was like, because then I was saying it's just for me in general, as I am, just as a person, is I know I can be very impulsive with just like random shit.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I like think a lot of things fully through, even though I'm a very in the moment type of person, and I say that from the sense of I always have a contingency plan of if shit goes left, this is plan A, B, or C. If shit goes right, this is plan A, B, or C. If shit keeps going straight, this is plan A, B, or C. So it's kind of like if things go in any direction, it's kind of good to go. And then, you know, I've just always thought this about myself as the business would grow, and I'm like, yo, like, I don't know why I really don't get stressed when I'm stressed. Like, yeah, I'm stressed, but it doesn't get to me. Like, I actually think pretty clear when I'm stressed. And it was some like motivational guy. He made a post about this like last week or like some shit, and then it was something along the lines of when you know how to operate in chaos, everything else just seems sweet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, that's kind of how just I wouldn't say my whole life has been like chaos, but then just like dealing with like certain shits, it's like I'm used to operating when shit is crazy. So I'm like, what's so crazy now that like I might be short on rent, or I gotta figure out how to, you know, make this person work with this person, and it's like, yo, I've dealt with actual crazy situations, so is this really crazy? You know what I mean?
The term of crazy depends on the person.
True.
It depends on the situation as well.
That's true.
I think that in certain situations, in terms of craziness, and if you're saying when you're stressed, you're not really stressed.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the stress as actual. I won't even say an obstacle. You're seeing the stress as a kind of a blessing to have.
So basically, I like embrace it. You know
You embrace it. You're okay with that cloth because you're like, all right, stress time. We're tight.
Yeah.
We got boom, boom, boom. We got to go to different things.
Like it's like with me, it's just basically like, yo, it's time to go. You know what I mean? Like, let's do what we need to do. Of like, you know, and I think it's done more good than bad. But you know, I like speak a lot of the things that I do before I do it, and I don't know really why, but it's just. But then to me, it's just more of, okay, it's like if I'm putting this out there, it puts a little bit of stress on myself, but it's a good stress, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my work, there was like people that don't like to like move like that, but with me, you know, it's like when I know something needs to be done, I'm not like, shit, it's too much what I do. I'm just like, it's time to go, baby. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Were you, and speaking of your shop, since you've been in New York, you mentioned NFT several times. Have you ever thought about doing that for your own store?
Yeah, but I'm a person that like, I don't do things unless I like actually really know the ins and outs. So people are like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. It's like, yeah, you can. I could just give you this cut. You put it together, this and that. But I'm like, I like to know what I'm doing.
So, in that sense, you don't know exactly that field of NFTs just yet.
Yeah. To just like blindly do it just because it's the thing to do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I get that because it's sometimes that was for me with cryptocurrency. Me and you had a great conversation about crypto, about investing in crypto and getting your money back on crypto. And NFTs to me always I can understand certain items. I can understand on like certain moments you can have an NFT and hold that moment in an NFT, or a piece of art, or a piece of something of art. But I don't see how NFTs are going to be futuristic unless it has value. Like I think I was talking about either with you previously or on a different podcast about Board Yacht Club.
Oh yeah, that's the one with like the apes and stuff.
The apes and stuff, the crazy apes. Beautiful concept, love it. But it made NFTs more of like exclusiveness. Like if you get this NFT, you can go anywhere. I think for terms of shops, I think NFTs for shops could be something like if you have a certain, like your Thriftlordes logo, you bought the NFT from the Thriftlordes logo, you're an exclusive member, you get discounts on 20-30% of clothes for certain ones that you have.
That's fine, write that down.
So I write that down. Quick. It give me. Write that down. I just thought about it in my head because you making it an exclusionary club. That's how you make the NFT worth valuable. Right. So, and that's just the light term of that. I personally do not have any NFTs. I don't think I'm going to ever get an NFT. I'm not down on my people that got NFTs. It's just so happened that it's just not one of those things I explore. I'm more something that I can see that I'm more familiar with just stocks and crypto than anything else. But yeah, keep that note down, man. Cause that Thriftflorde logo, you can get different colors, different ones get different prices. You can have it at high price, or you can sell that shit for like $100. You can get 20-30%, and there you go.
Man, like I might need to just like.
I don't know how I make it though. I don't know how I make it.
Yeah, man. When we come off the edge, just give me a little bit of notes real quick.
Yeah, I got you. But Lo, since we got some time left, let's get in some pod deck questions really quick. We did this jump last time, and then we got that alley-oop, my guy. So this time around, I think last time we did some things. I'm gonna give you 4 options. You can pick 2. Let's just do that. Okay. We got the hustle. Mm-hmm. We got conspiracy theories. We got Black history, and we have hoops. Pick 2.
You know, Black History is one of them.
Word.
So there too. So it was Black History. Then, so I don't really follow hoops. So I don't really like them.
No worries.
So it was Black History. So when you say hustle, like what do you mean?
Let me see. Let me give you an example of a hustle question. And you might like it. We can kind of keep it from there. How do you plan on growing? Like basically, it's basically your hustle. Well, like those are the type of questions I'm pulling from that. Okay, so it's like, you want to do Black History and hustle?
Yeah.
Let's do Black History first, and let's go back to the hustle before we wrap this. Let's see here. Oh, this is definitely one that you're gonna like. What are some ways that slavery and the Jim Crow era continue to affect the Black community in the United States today?
It's like, how can I explain it? So like there's so many ways. So I guess I think like a lot of it is like a subconscious thought process or the subconscious mentality that you know we may have. You know we may have to certain things and we don't realize it's kind of linked to what was taken from us or what we have been shown to have or not have, because I don't want to get too like deep. Because I was having a conversation with someone, and then we don't need to get into that conversation now, but then I just brought out certain points because she was talking about the difference between like African Americans and Africans, and then I was telling her, like, okay, you do like, and then me, I'm Nigerian, so but then I grew up around a lot of Nigerians, West Africans, but then I grew up around a lot of like just like Black people, what I mean? And I was breaking it down of like, yes, as a West African, I see exactly what you're talking about, but let's not deny the fact of why certain things within African American, I guess like culture per se, or like how things are perceived, or how we would initially react to certain things. It isn't just because Black people want to act this way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with Jim Crow. A lot of that has to do with slavery. And what I'm saying? And I guess this would be like the last part. But then this was the first like surface level of the conversation, and I was like, yo, one of the most prominent things is hip hop. And I love hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like the culture is very, what's the word? Pompous, you know what I'm saying? Like is in your face, like, yo, I'm that nigga, like you see this chain, you see this fit, it's crazy, you know what I mean? And it's like, but at the same time, West Africans, well, at least Nigerians, we are very flamboyant. That's right. Like it's just in the nature, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's a different feel of like, I'm not saying this to make people feel some type of way, but then in hip hop, and I'm a part of it, of just how I hold myself at times. I'm like, yo, low key, I feel like, well, not even low key, I'm like, high key, I feel like I'm that guy in my world. What's up? Boom, boom. So I love that side of like rap, hip hop, and this and that. But then on the West African side, we're technically as pompous and in your face, but like it's perceived of like, oh, like this is just them. But then in hip hop, it's like, oh, like niggas is trying to prove a point. You know what I mean? And then I was telling her, it's like a lot of that is because it's like, I just personally feel is from the lack of what we never had. So when, we figure out hip hop music, whatever, we're like, yo, like I'm in your face. Cause I remember, so the first heavyweight boxer was Jack Johnson. Well, the first heavyweight black champion was Jack Johnson. And I watched this documentary on him. And one of the first things he did, he was like, yo, like I bought some gold teeth because I have money. I never had money. I don't want whoever I talk to look at my fucking mouth. I'm like, yeah, I got fucking money now. Like, do you see this gold right here? You know what I mean? And that comes from a place of like literally not having shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then on the West African side, we can be very just flamboyant with how we dress. We got like, at least where I'm from,
we have pearls that's fucking like pearl chains that are like 20 pounds that go down the head. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, but it doesn't come off like, man, like these niggas in your face. But it's more like, yo, like this is who we are. You know what I mean?
It's culturally, there's definitely cultural differences between blacks and Africans. Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. I think there's definitely similarities. Yeah, I think that the similarities go into like way we dress. Yeah, we are very outgoing, regardless if you're black or African. We're very, very. I wouldn't even say the word flamboyant. We're very outgoing in terms of how we express ourselves, and the expression most blacks. And this is like, we're flashy because we ain't have it. Yeah. Africans are more flashy because we know what we got. We know where we come from. We're gonna stunt. Yeah. Like when my wife gets ready for African weddings, we gonna stunt. Yeah, but like it's gonna.
But then it doesn't have that same effect, even though it is technically the same of like showing off. But it's like maybe I may be wrong with the perception, but I feel like, when people see West Africans, they don't like, man, kind of over the top. Like, oh man, look at them embrace their like culture. But then if we see certain things in hip hop, it's like, man, like they're kind of over the top, but like I fuck with it though. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like that subconscious thought process.
It's different like that. Yeah. Speaking of culture, what are your feelings about cultural appropriation?
It's certain things is like if you I want to say go out of the way. Well, I guess if you go out of your way to like show appreciation for it and you do it in the right way, it's cool. But then it's like you can't just do it because you like it and have no regards for like how it came about or how people that you may be trying to to like copy their style or whatever it may be, and not see why they may be frustrated if you do it this way just because you see it the way that you want to see it. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a totally different connotation from a different group of people. Yeah.
I think in terms of big business, I do not like cultural appropriation from big business. Yeah. I think all big businesses, all they do is ride the wave until the wave is gone. I think my previous guest that was on the show, we were talking about how everybody was saving Ukraine. Everybody's go save Ukraine, which is a very nice cause. But as soon as that died, it died down. Everybody goes on to the next wave, and it's the next wave. I think that for companies, especially like big marketing companies or big fashion companies, like not big, but like maybe Macy's, JCPenney's, Bath and Body Works, whatever. Instead of doing the whole regular dashiki bullshit, which pisses me off.
What I get blown every year.
Every fucking year. Only thing I think about Black History Month is like when Nancy Pelosi and all them,
and that the little knee
down.
I was like, why is this so complicated?
I really do believe that, but I don't think that. I also thought about a lot of ACLs as well that day because then most of them shits that got torn. But I do believe that. Where I'm going with this. Instead of doing that as an appreciation to us, I think it would be better to have put on a showcase of, not even showcase, put on the forefront for that month of certain Black creators that y'all want to fuck with. Yeah. And they put their stuff out on their designs. Nothing with Black history and the colors. No, put on Black creators of what their history is.
Because then that's the real impact is if we're talking about we want to progress and build. It's like you coming out with fucking dashiki Air Force Ones. It looks cool, but then it's like, how does that push any of us? But if you put on Black creators that make shoes, you might put on 3 or 4 people that can grow into their own, and now it's a whole system of like Black creators is actually starting to move on up now, you know what I mean? So,
and you can spotlight them as like, hey, this is going to be a trial basis for your Black History Month, and that'll be fine. A lot of people take those opportunities. No one's going to say no to an opportunity from like, hey, JCPenney wants to sponsor you on your line, put it for the month. No one's going to say no to that bullshit. So when you have that month, you can honestly go back, see what your sales are, and you can probably most likely negotiate with them after they see what the product you are. If not even with JCPenney.
But with anyone else.
With anyone else is going to see that
JCPenney
for this special line, and you have that in your portfolio to move forward. let's move on to the hustle, because I think those are two very good questions off of Black History Month. What kind of shower ideas do you get?
Shower ideas.
I get good shower ideas, but it's mostly about like certain financial things.
Shower idea. So,
like you go in the shower.
Yeah.
Say your mind is puzzled about something, or you're just like nothing on your mind. Take a hot shower and you're like and you're in there for like 20 minutes, and just boom, the idea happened. You're like, I know how I figure this out.
So
if you never had that, we can skip the question.
I have ideas, but it's always after I leave the gym, I take my shower, and I'm just driving back to the shop or drive to the crib, and probably because I guess the testosterone or just mind is clear, like after you like hit the gym, that's when I have my best like ideas. I've had a couple. One of like my favorite shirts. So the gold shirts that had the hands that had the black hands, and there was at the bottom of the shirt that had the rose in the middle and it said like Thriftlordes. Yeah. So then that one I specifically remember. I left the gym. I was on the way to get like something to eat, and with me, I'm very big on art history. Like I fucking just read like a lot of shit on like Leonardo da Vinci just randomly. You know what I mean?
Word.
But then I just had the idea of like, yo, I've seen that Michelangelo painting of like the hand of God, and said like nothing against nobody, but I'm like, yo, I'm black. I'm about to put white hands on like my merch. Yeah. So I mean like, so then I was like, yo, why hasn't anyone done black hands but changed the concept of like instead of having like I think it was the sun in like the middle or like a lightning strike or like something. I was like, yo, let me just find some pastel colors, have the exact same hands, but I told my graphic designer, like, yo, just make this black but make this shit look realistic, and then the rose, whatever, da. And I was just like driving to get some food. I'm like, yo, this is fucking genius, like, yeah. And then I made a joint, and till this day, those are probably like my best selling pieces. Like when I first dropped them joints, I think like the first like week or two probably sold like probably like 50 shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so then that was one of my best just random just clarity thoughts. But more specifically in the shower, it's more of that's when my mind actually slows down and I kind of think of like, oh wow, I've actually done a decent amount of shit in the past month or 2 months or whatever, like the situation. So when I'm in the shower, it's more of just like slowing my thoughts down and kind of think back on things that I've actually done.
True. One last question from the hustle. If you lost everything you worked for tomorrow, what would be the first step in starting over?
First step in starting over is, what would be the first step? So no shop, bank account empty.
Bank account empty. How would you start it over?
It's just what would be the first specific plan? Hit the thrift, talk to the managers again, try to finesse a little super deal, and then see if I can come up with a decent amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Do that, boom, boom, and like just really network with people again. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's been the biggest thing. It's just knowing a wide range of people, so I can really just get my shit out there. So really just network, get in touch with the thrift managers, and then just, you know what I'm saying? Then just work, you know what I mean?
Word. I can't even talk now. I feel it. One more from here. Actually, I lied. I got one more. I got enough time for one more here. We got the alley-oop. What consumes your thoughts on a daily basis?
I'm trying to be more, I'm a very living in the moment, present type of person, but it's like, even with the whole cop like situation, like my mind is like, okay, like what's the next move? Like I can't dwell in it, or it's like, you know what I'm saying, even when I hosted the block party, halfway through the block party, I'm like, hey yo bro, I'm gonna try to have this artist here on this date, so like my like you know like my thoughts is just always like, yo, like what's the most logical next step to take things to the next level?
Word. I feel it. All right, last question of the day is called the alley-oop. You've done this once before. Alley-oop is when you ever ask me the host a question, I got automatically answer it. If I answer it before, I'll let you know and go.
Okay, so just any question?
Any question, sir.
Okay, let me see. Damn, this is hard. The last one I kind of had planned because I like.
You studied, you watched the videos. Round two different.
Yeah, let me see. Ah, man. Okay, so I'm actually intrigued because I've been doing a lot of like just self-aware thoughts to myself, like in general. So I know that you're married.
Yes.
You got a lovely wife.
Yes.
Man, so then like, how can I say? It's like, it's like, how did you know it was the one to build with and not just like, oh, she's a good match for however you was feeling at that time. But like, was there certain things where it's like, okay, I can tell like she likes more than just the surface level of what she may see. Like what really, you know what I mean?
Ooh, all right, this is gonna be interesting. So I knew at the moment I fell in love with my wife when I think it was my birthday. Okay. I think it was nothing that she did special. Well, one thing she did special, she toe tagged up my car. She wrapped it around some wrapping paper, put some sticky notes all over it, and I had never had no girlfriend do. And it was like happy birthday all around, this, that. And luckily enough, my birthday's in the winter time, so the sun doesn't mess it up. But that moment to me felt like the first moment I really loved my wife. And the moment I realized that I really want to marry my wife, we just moved in. I recommend this to everybody. I'd rather move in with all my when any girlfriend that you have and you think about marriage, move in for at least a year. Okay. You have to understand how that person operates. Does she operate off of y'all operate off the same schedules? Yeah. How that person feels. When she's sad, how you can comfort her when you're there, it's vice versa, and how you deal with the good days and bad days. It's different when you have good days and bad days and y'all in different locations because you guys can't comfort the same person or see the frustration in person. I think once when me and her had a situation, I forget which, but we had a situation where at first where we weren't seeing eye to eye a lot of things. I think when we moved in, we weren't seeing eye to eye on different things. I had my own spot up here. She had her own spot down in Richmond. Once we moved in, and once we got that adjustment period, which is about 3 months, I started to see that what she does for me a lot. My wife is a cooker. She's the cooker of the group. I'm the one that cooks on the weekends. She cooks during the week. And for me, it really sold me because I love food. And food is the secret. Honestly, women, y'all learn, if y'all can cook, y'all can keep any fucking man.
Hey, look, man, I know we live in different times. I understand, but she's not lying.
Yeah, if you can cook, you can keep any fucking man. I don't give a fuck what you say. You can keep any fucking man. And honestly, off of those two things of her just being there and seeing she was supporting me and supporting what I do was the key. And the third, I'll honestly say, I'm sorry, I'm dragging this on.
Nah, man. Like I'm really trying to know because I'm like, yo, like I'm in the street long enough. I need to do something.
Yeah, she got me when I wasn't at my best. Okay. Which means, like for me, I didn't have no career. I didn't have this. I didn't have jiu-jitsu. I didn't have comedy. I had nothing. All I was I just graduated with my associate's degree, and I was at a job I did not like. She was already in her career as a nurse. She was working at a hospital. She was working on what she wants to do. Every job my wife has done is the job that she wanted to do. Yeah. Every job. I just now, I've been dating her for about 10 years now. 10 years in October. Every job until now has been a job where I was not the highest paid. I'm still not the highest paid. I was not in the dream job or in the job I wanted to be. Okay. She saw that build, and she was seeing me and helping me grow to build what I wanted to build. And now, since I have everything I kind of wanted in my life, in terms of my job, in terms of my extracurriculars of this and comedy and the other things, and see how I built from one with the moment of seeing my wife. I met my wife at a Buffalo Wild Wings. Served her table, got her number off Buffalo Wild Wings. That's how much game I got, people. I got my wife at Buffalo Wild Wings. And from that moment to where I got now, it's a blessing. It's a damn blessing. But thanks, man. That was one hell of a question, dog. It's been Dreams Not Fame podcast. Peace, love, and bye.
Jordan, open. I got 2 twin Glocks strapped to my hip. One for the ops, one for the devil. Got the drip on me, and she taking sip. Doing shit you never see, like a dream of crib. Got a shorty in the club, going dumb. Pour another drink from the night till the one. Party all night, getting lit till the sun. Doing shit for fun, throw another one. Ayy, I got 2 twin Glocks strapped.